This month's episode. Good afternoon, everybody, and or evening compared to, depending on where you're at. My battle buddy, certainly it's evening for him. But welcome to the E-Tool Nation podcast. And I am SEAC retired John Wayne Troxell. And my guest today is also my co-host, Sergeant First Class retired Ryan Hendrickson, Silver Star recipient, author of the book Tip of the Spear, and currently conducting a humanitarian mission in Ukraine right now. Ryan, how's it going, brother?
It's going good. Busy, but it's busy's good.
Yeah. You've been out there for about a month now, close to a month?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I know that every day you're out doing some things, to support the Ukrainian people and everything. But I think to frame our conversation today, I think we have a video we'd like to show of some of your travels just to show our audience what you've been kind of doing there. So if you don't mind, Vic, can we go ahead and roll the video, please?
All right, guys. That's 100 bags of food loaded up going to Chernihiv region. It's a lot of hope right there for people that need it. Even after everything people have been through, I'm so thankful. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it looks like Russians marked, I guess areas, maybe areas they cleared, or I have no idea, but the Z is definitely Russian. So yeah, this is one of the main streets here. But yeah, people boarding up. It's just devastation. And these two ladies are showing us around because they want everyone to know what's been happening here to civilians. Yeah, the road is just littered with this ordnance everywhere. We're being told we can go about this far because they're doing a demining operation up here, which is good, trying to clear the area for people to, well, I'm not really sure what to come back to. All right, guys, this is what 40 bags of food looks like. It's going out to help some people. So we'll deliver them today, and yeah, this is all your donations. So keep sending them because it goes fast, but it helps out a lot of people. So.
Wow, brother. That is, obviously, as you and I know, combat, it takes a toll on the population, which is the center of gravity or anything. So let's start at the beginning, Ryan. Mm-hmm. Here you are, a decorated Green Beret, a wounded warrior. You're retired. How did you get involved with this effort, and what was the motivation for you to take on this humanitarian mission?
So yeah, after just spending my career in Afghanistan, Iraq, and I've been on the other side of things when it comes to war. I'm definitely, I'm not the end all be all of war, and I know there's some listeners on here that have really been through some stuff, but I have a few experiences in it, and I've always been on the opposite side of things. I've been on the side that find, fix, and kill the enemy. And yes, as a Green Beret, hearts and minds, and we do the best we can. But I've never really seen the humanitarian side as in depth as I am right now. And I got to a point to where after Afghanistan, that chapter in my life closed. I was feeling very, unfulfilled. The military was very fulfilling, my job and everything I did, but there just something was missing. And so yeah, I was, I ended up being able to link up with Veterans Lending Group, and we just, between myself, you, and Veterans Lending Group, we just said, hey, let's go to Ukraine and help. And I've done a bit of trigger pulling in my time, not crazy, but a bit. So I figured maybe I want to see what it's like to actually, to just go strictly to help, the humanitarian side, the human side, and working in the human domain, I guess, as you would call it. And so people ask me, are you armed? I'm not armed. I'm here as a humanitarian aid worker. It's like, well, that's stupid. Well, okay, well, you call it what you want, but that's, so I quit my contracting job I was at, and I just jumped both feet into, this opportunity that I had to come over here and in my opinion, make a difference. And everybody's making a difference, whether you're the war fighter, but this is a difference that I've never really been able to make before, and that was no war, just strictly humans helping humans. And so I've grown a lot as a human being, as a man, for doing, being on this trip that I'm at, and seeing the other side of war has definitely opened up my eyes. Yeah, it greatly, but unfortunately, in war, the people that suffer the most are the innocent, and that's what I'm seeing firsthand.
Yeah.
Is the people caught in the middle. So
Yeah. So, and what's the name of the organization you're supporting over there?
So I'm over here supporting. They're called YWAM, or Youth with a Mission. When I heard Youth with a Mission, I was like, you realize I'm 43 years old, and it's like, yeah, it's just a name. They're
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's a missionary organization, but yeah, that's who I was able to link up with here in Kyiv, because of my good friend Dave Cunningham. And so yeah, I got the invite. Veterans Lending Group said, yeah, let's ride the lightning and do it. And yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome that our show, powered by our company, Veterans Lending Group, that they are fully behind you on this mission and everything. It just shows the leadership that we have at Veterans
Yep.
Lending Group. So so here you are, multiple tours in combat. You've you're a decorated veteran. You're a wounded warrior and everything, but here you are now. You don't, as you mentioned, you don't have weapons, and you're still running around in body armor and everything. What does it feel like? For somebody like me, it would feel a little strange being on the other side of that. What was it like when you first got there and you started doing this mission, and you're out on the battlefield and everything, but in a different kind of position?
So yeah, I think the only word I could really use is vulnerable.
Yeah.
And at first, when I first got here, Russians were still hitting Kyiv. Irpin and Bucha were still just a disintegrating situation that was going on, and the threat of Russia making breach into Kyiv was very real. And so the vulnerability aspect, I had to wrap my mind around the fact that you're not here to do that. And then the reality of it set in, that it's like, yeah, I can be, one armed guy, and in the end, if I get stopped by a Russian element, that gun's going to get not just me, but it's going to get all the civilians we're trying to get out of harm's way. It's going to get us all killed.
Yeah.
And so, would I take, if you did get rolled up, would I take my chances with, I mean, you guys sure you want to shoot a humanitarian worker, and in the end, I don't know the answer to that. I'm not going to find out the answer, because the Ukrainian security posture here is absolutely phenomenal. To the point to where my biggest concern is there's some crazy drivers here. And I drive, so
Yeah.
I drive all the places that I go. I have a van and a trailer, but yeah, it's the security posture the Ukrainians have. They are not messing around, and this isn't a third world country. This is a first world country. They are trained military, and no, I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
Drivers, yeah. We'll talk about mines and leave behinds later on, but no, as far as me getting rolled up or shot, no, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, so we continue to hear about how not just the Ukrainian military, but the Ukrainian people have basically taken on this stance of this anti-armor defense layered from the border with Russia and on the east and in the north all the way back to Kyiv and in the same in the southeast and everything. Is that what you're seeing from the population there? Just a strong resolve to push back against this Russian invasion?
So I've never seen a population so united in a cause, led by a man that refuses to flee his people or his country. I've never seen, and I know people may think what they want to think, but the closest I can say to what I see out here is September 12th, 2001.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just the united people uniting and coming together
Yep.
to defend their sovereign territory and their freedom.
Yeah, and the Ukrainian spirit is it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, the Russians didn't calculate in that, and it's coming back to bite them.
Yeah. So as you go out and about, you mentioned the security system is pretty good. Um, how often are you interacting with Ukrainian military in terms of seeing them maybe at security checkpoints or anything like that? Do you have any interactions with the Ukrainian military?
Oh yeah, all the time. So I mean, you have a hard time driving a kilometer without hitting a checkpoint, and every single checkpoint, it's like you've never even gone through one. And so they're checking everything. Their security posture is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, as far as the Ukrainian military goes, we interact a lot with them. We do not go into areas blind. We were in Bucha 48 hours after the Russians left, and yeah, it was all because we had Ukrainian military escort, and so the Ukrainian government and the military is completely behind humanitarian aid workers. And it kind of gets embarrassing at times because you'll hit a checkpoint and all they want to do is thank you for coming there, thank you for your service, and I'm like, dude, yeah, you don't, no, you guys, you need to
Yeah.
thank you for but yes, what the government is trying to do for the people and allowing us humanitarian workers to move about some of these contested areas, not from Russian Ukrainian aggression, but mines, UXOs, and stuff like that. It's not that they're willing to put humanitarian workers at risk, but they are willing to let us go into areas to reach people that haven't had hope in 30, 40 days. And yeah.
So I got to ask, have you run into any Russian soldiers?
No, thank God I haven't. Yeah, I mean, it's the simple fact. They went into a meat grinder here and they weren't expecting it. And the world is now seeing how, armor is pretty much obsolete on the battlefield, with some trained groups with anti-armor weapon systems. And everything we see is just littered with Russian, um, well, Russian vehicles that have just been destroyed because they just kind of miscalculated, the old javelins and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Hey, some popular folks that are really growing, in their popularity around the world is these Ukrainian farmers with their John Deere tractors and everything. And, they
yeah.
are notorious for stealing Russian armor and everything.
Mhm.
To me, this is just synonymous with what you described in terms of the resolve of the people that,
Mhm.
I think Vladimir Putin thought he was going to fight 200,000 Ukrainian soldiers. And in the end, he's fighting millions of Ukrainian people.
Yep.
And I would assume you're seeing that firsthand everywhere you go.
Yes. Yeah. To say that I am concerned about my safety, I'm not. I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they, it's the Russians are fighting 43 million strong, and it's and I could be a little off on my population number, but about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the farmers are, and the babushkas, the grandmothers. Usually, when we go into villages that people have had to flee from. I didn't know this, but in Ukrainian culture, for a babushka to leave her home, it's worse than death. So usually, when we go into villages, coming out of the rubble, and I do mean that, like they'll have a shelter that's tin roof over a potato cellar or something like that with 15 people living in it. But it's mostly grandmothers, and they're coming out, and once they realize this isn't a game and we're not playing tricks on them and we're here to help, then the stories are like I'll I'll never be the same after some of the stuff that I've heard. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, so you and I had a phone conversation a couple weeks ago, and one of the things you talked to me about was the atrocities that have happened to the population there. A lot of people, when they see war, they think it's this a military against this military, and as you said, the innocent are the ones that get victimized the most. So, in
Mhm.
terms of these kinds of atrocities, can you kind of talk to our audience about how real these atrocities are?
So the world has heard about Bucha and they've heard about Irpin. Um, we were in Bucha 48 hours after the Russians left, and once the people started coming out and talking with us, seeing that, the I guess the ray of hope, somebody was actually here to help us, and the food that we deliver, I mean, yeah, it's vital to survivability, but it's not going to keep them for months and years. It's just for that moment. But the hope that brought, not just the Ukrainians bringing it in, but the foreigners, and then here's this American, um, and it does. I mean, the stories start to come out because they want the world to know. They want people to know. And some of the stuff, that I've heard from just the indiscriminate killing. Um, one story out of hundreds, but one story that kind of sticks in my mind was this lady's son went out. They haven't eaten in a while, so went out to get food because, hey, we need food. And Russian soldiers, conscripts, whatever, drunk, high, and they killed him. So she went out and tried to collect up her son, and they wouldn't let her. They told her that she had to go request permission from the Russian commander of the town to be able to touch her son. So then he allowed her to bring her son to this park bench, but she couldn't bury him for 3 days. And then when she was able to bury him, they refused to let her bury, her son, proper burial, and nobody could help her. So this Russian grandmother, she, dug a grave in the playground that we were delivering food at, and buried her son there. So that's one of them. I think for me, what kind of bothers me the most is the rapes, and so that's been that's been pretty tough. So and there's a lot of it.
Yeah, and I would assume torture along with it in some cases, and we hear about in Irpin and Mariupol and places like that, but I would assume that's going on as well.
Yeah, then it's crazy with the disconnect of the Russian army, because it depends on that Russian commander for that AOR and where he's at. I've seen the atrocities, the Russians have done here, but I've seen the atrocities the Russians have done here. We also went to a village to where the Russians, the commander there put everybody in this school, and during combat, so to try and protect those civilians from I guess Civkaz and what, but for the most part, it's very dependent on who the commander is. And the biggest thing we've seen is, and I don't understand it. Maybe it goes back hundreds of years, maybe it goes back thousands of years, but this hatred, I just don't get it. But I've been asked multiple times, when they find out, I'm an American, I've been asked by many of mostly grandmothers that have lost everything. They killed my husband, they killed my grandsons, and she said, why? I don't know.
Yeah. So that powerful stuff, brother. Powerful stuff. So I got to ask, the Russians now seem to be concentrating combat power in the east, in the Donbass region and everything. And it looks like, getting their heads handed to them in the initial assault and everything. And depending on what source you see, somewhere around a division strength worth of Russian soldiers have been killed. What is the population's kind of take that there might be this second offensive coming from the east and everything? Are they hunkering down and ready for it, or what's kind of the pulse of the people right now?
The pulse of the people is bring it. Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. They want round number 2. They do. They want to stop the Russian war machine in Ukraine, and what all Ukrainians, the soldiers that I talk to, they all say is, we need to stop Russia here so you don't have to deal with them at your home. I'm like, damn, dude. It's yeah.
I visited, when I was the SEAC, I visited Ukraine twice, and Kyiv was a very beautiful city with a lot of rich history and tradition. What kind of damage have you seen to the city there, especially around the suburbs and everything of Kyiv?
So in down, I guess you'd call it like Kyiv, the central part of Kyiv, where it still is a beautiful city. It's one of the most amazing cities I've ever seen. Lots of history here, and they will they will protect it with everything that they have. So Kyiv in general, and I know Kyiv is large, it's huge, but I guess, I mean, the best way I can put it is like the downtown or the historic district where the statues and stuff like that are. It's untouched, and
Awesome.
and I'm happy for that. But the suburbs, no, it's something like I've never seen before.
Wow.
And I've done a little bit in Afghanistan and Iraq, and I've never seen destruction on this scale before, and a lot of the indiscriminate destruction. We went to a village a lot of people don't talk about, but it's called Demerka, and the only thing I can really, for the listeners, the only thing I can really compare it to, and it's not a fair comparison, is F5 tornado. I guess. But we'll be talking. I was talking to this one babushka, and she was saying, she showed me. She said Russian tank went through the fence right there, and you can see where it drove through. It drove into the yard. Russian soldiers came out and they ordered us all out onto the street. Everybody went out on the street. Turret swiveled around, and they just started shelling houses. Jeez. And same question I get asked by so many people: why? I'm not a military target. What did I do to deserve it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, folks, you're watching the E-Tool Nation podcast. I'm SEAC retired John Wayne Troxell. My guest is also my co-host, Sergeant First Class retired Ryan Hendrickson. And Ryan, we're going to take a quick break here with an important message from our sponsor, Veterans Lending Group, and then we'll continue the conversation with a special guest when we return.
At Veterans Lending Group, we're not just VA home loan specialists. At Veterans Lending Group, we're not just VA home loan specialists. At Veterans Lending Group, we're not just VA home loan specialists. We are educators, community leaders, military service members, or family of those who serve. We are committed to serving, supporting, and educating our military families. 60% of our staff are prior service or spouses, and 85% of the loans we close are VA loans. We are your special ops of VA lending. We will not restrict your VA home loan benefit like many other lenders do. We believe that you have earned this benefit through your service, and we are here to protect your right to use it the way the VA wrote the guidelines. Our team can lend in all 50 states. We are here to assist you with your next home purchase or refinance, whether you are PCSing, transitioning, or retiring. Our team of specialists are here to support your family. Visit our website today to connect with a VA specialist. www.veteranslendinggroup.com.
All right, and we are back with our E-Tool Nation podcast. Thank you to our sponsor, Veterans Lending Group, for that important message. So, Ryan, much like you, my relationships in the military have been transformational, especially with our international partners. And, my 2 trips to Ukraine, I met a guy named Alexander Kozinski, who happened to be my counterpart as the Ukrainian SEAC. And I know you and he have had conversations on WhatsApp here and everything. And our relationship grew so much that he came to my last conference and he actually attended my retirement ceremony in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to get him on the phone right now. Let's see if we can have a conversation with him here.
Awesome.
If he answers his phone. Well, I'll give him a call back here in a few minutes. But Yeah. So, I kind of introduced you to Alexander, and I know because of his busy schedule. What's your conversations with him been like so far?
So the most of our conversations have been how best can we support the Ukrainian people, the innocent people that are caught in the middle of this whole thing, and his willingness to help out. I mean, all he wants, like, his mission is to make sure that the innocent civilians, not only to fight a war, but to make sure that the innocent civilians that are caught in the middle are taken care of is the best way that they possibly can be. And so with humanitarian workers being here, he's just, yeah, it's again, it's another one of those things where it's like, man, I appreciate, you thanking me for being here, but this, I mean, man, you guys are, it's just, he really wants to make sure that the innocent are protected and taken care of. So that's,
and we'll continue the conversation. Yeah. So I have to ask, how do you think this is going to end? I would assume, having seen what's going on, that the Ukrainian people are not going to quit, and the Ukrainian military is going to continue to fight. Do you see anything different from you being there?
no. If anything, Ukraine has become more emboldened by what they've been able to accomplish, and they've been able to accomplish it. Yeah, there's been a lot of military material support, but this is a Ukraine fight, and they are kicking the teeth in of the world's second largest army. And so I believe that they are emboldened. I also believe that, Russia hit a meat grinder around Kyiv, and talking to villagers today, they said, yeah, at one point there was 2,500 or more Russian troops here. And then we woke up the next morning and everybody was gone.
Oh, wow.
Gone. And we all heard about it on the news, people moving east and whatnot. But I think, in my opinion, and it's an uneducated opinion, but in my opinion, is Putin was able to successfully monitor and filter what the Russian people are actually being told about this conflict. I believe I'm correct on that, because you can watch any number of YouTube videos, and a lot of Russians don't even believe that the Russian military is in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, now Russia can concentrate on Donbass and some of the southern areas, Mariupol and stuff like that, but they can concentrate on those areas. And after 2014, I mean, they kind of had Donbass anyways.
Yeah.
But now Putin can go back and say, all right, we denazified Donbass. There's no more genocide against our poor Russian people in Donbass region. And he can go back to Russia with his head held high as the conquering hero and the savior of Russia, because the Russian population isn't really tracking that. That's his last hope to have a win. And Putin, he has to have that. He has to have a win. He won't leave here unless he can say that he was victorious in one way or another. And I see him spinning it as, we want to limit the amount of Ukrainian civilian casualties, so we cleared out the Donbass area, and now we're the heroes, and they'll do a couple humanitarian propaganda driven things. Here's us handing out food to people, and we're the good guys, and then they'll go back and start licking their wounds and kind of being like, whoa, wasn't quite ready for that.
Hey, you mentioned something that has been a contentious issue certainly some Hollywood types have been talking about this, and even some folks in Washington, D.C. You know, and Putin uses it all the time by saying, we are doing this special operation to denazify Ukraine. You know, that basically Ukraine is a bunch of fascists and Nazis and everything. What's your take on all this? Because both my trips into Ukraine, you know, I didn't see any of this stuff. I'm sure it probably exists, like this stuff exists in the United States, but I don't. To me, it's not the prevailing. You know, that hey, if you either help communists or you're helping Nazis here, depending on what side you take. What are you seeing there? And you know,
it's PR and propaganda. That's all it is. It is a justification for war. It's a justification for cruelty. It's a justification to spin his military up in a way to where they actually think that they have a mission and they are doing good for not only Russia, but the rest of the world. And maybe the rest of the world is just too blind to see it. But it is their justification and their call to war to protect Russia against, another, Adolf Hitler. Yeah. And another Russian movement, and remember Stalingrad and all this other stuff. I'm sure I know that Ukraine has its issues just like everybody else has their issues.
Like the United States does.
But what Russia has been able to do is they'll take those issues, they'll broadcast it in a way to where it's a threat to Russian sovereignty, and then they can get their military involved in a way that they are protecting the Russian homeland from Nazis.
Yeah. So I just we got some comments in here. I know you know who Paula Candelaria is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she says, hey, so happy I was able to catch you live. Love you, little brother, and miss you terribly. Keep up all the good work, and all of Ukraine innocent victims are in our daily prayers. So there's a message there. So that's some awesome stuff as well. So I got to ask, brother, how long is this mission for you?
So I know this deadline of May 9th keeps getting thrown around. And so I'm definitely going to be here. I want to be here past May 9th just to kind of see what happens. But I do, I do know that just being here on the ground in Kyiv, the government has taken back control very quickly. We went through Bucha again today, and it is night and day from when we first went through there. The Ukrainians, they're not being victims. They're not crying for the government to take care of this. Oh, we're not going to take care of this ourselves. You have to help us. They don't want anybody's help. They are cleaning up their city. They are getting debris out by the thousands of dump truck loads. And yes, can you still see the scars of war there? Yes, you can. But from me entering Bucha 48 hours after the Russians left to what it is right now, it is absolutely night and day. And it gives testament to the Ukrainian resolve. It shows that the Ukrainians are not going to become victims of this circumstance. They refuse to roll over, and you will not, we will rebuild. We will rebuild. You did not beat us. You did not break us. You bloodied us up. But I mean, we're coming back. You cannot break us. And that's what I see everywhere.
So, and I just have to ask your opinion, brother, because you're there on the ground. Do you think we as the United States, whether militarily or humanitarian wise, are we doing enough to support Ukraine right now? Just your opinion. No politics involved, brother. I'm just asking you your opinion, man.
Yeah. All politics aside,
Hey, one second. I got the Ukrainian SEAC here.
okay. Thank God.
Hey, brother, are you there? Hey, are you there?
Hey, hello.
Yeah. Are you there?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Connection is not very good.
Hey, so thanks for taking the time to get on the call. I know you're doing some things there, security wise and everything, but you can see I got my co-host from my show and my good buddy who's right down the road from you right now, Ryan, there, and I know you've been talking to him. Hey, so we just wanted to, yeah, we just wanted to say how are things going?
So we continue fight, and right now most hard situation we have in the Donbass area. So here Russian troops try attack us for all front line in Lugansk and Donetsk region. So we have massive artillery fire from enemy side and air strike, but we hold the line and kill the motherfuckers.
I hear you. So Ryan, I know you've been talking to the SEAC there. What's your message to him?
Well, yeah, no, number one, I mean, I know if I don't get to meet you, at least we got to see each other on here. I know you're probably getting a little frustrated with me messaging you all the time, seeing where I can help you out. But my only message I have is not really a message. It's more of a statement, but it's complete respect, Sergeant Major. So.
Did you catch that, Alexander? Just complete respect for you, brother, and not just you, but the entire population, your military, and everybody. And it starts from your president to your boss, the chief of defense, and to you, and all the way down, man. We are so honored to call you partner and an ally, but more importantly, for me, it's to call you friend and brother, man.
Thank you. This is very important for us. Understand? So all civilization work with us and understand the situation what we have, because yes, this is a big war for us, and this is question about survival of our nation, and this really national defense. All our populations stay and fight, civilian, soldier, politic, and thank you for your government and your people for support, weapon support, of course. We use a lot of different kind of West weapon and kill this fucking Moscow motherfuckers. Thank you guys.
Hey, remember you sent an invite for Sandra and I, and I'm gonna extend that to Ryan and his wife too, for us to come back and have some Jack Daniels #7 in downtown Kyiv with you when this war is over and you've kicked the shit out of the Russians.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Well, hey, brother, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your operation, but we're just honored that you were able to get on the call. And Ryan, any parting words for Alexander, the Ukrainian?
Yeah, I know I've been bugging you, Sergeant. I know I've been bothering you, Sergeant Major, about those passes to get out to where you're at. I'm still working on it, and once I get that pass, we got food for the civilians out where you're at. So
awesome. Well, hey, my brother, God bless you. We love you. Keep up the fight, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we will.
All right. As you say, kill those Moscow motherfuckers, man. All right.
Yeah, fucking Russian.
All right. Take care, brother. All righty. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, so obviously you see how he is, and having spent a lot of time with him, if I was ever in a dark alley one night about to get jumped by 10 people, Alexander Kaczynski is a guy I'd like to be standing next to me. But to me, and I'll ask you your opinion, Ryan, you've talked about this during the show here. He kind of represents the 43 million people, the resolve that they have, that this is not about, hey, we're going to fight as long as we can. They are convinced that they are going to eliminate the Russians out of Ukraine and that victory is going to be theirs. Your thoughts?
I mean, that's the most dangerous thing you can give your enemy is hope.
Yeah.
And the Russians, the Ukrainians have not only hope, but they have the second most dangerous weapon, and that's confidence. So, I mean, they have hope and they have confidence. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very hard, costly, and in my opinion, again, just my opinion, an impossible task by Russia to defeat Ukraine.
Yeah, we've seen basically the horrible performance of the Russian military at the tactical level in terms of movement, maneuver, synchronizing fires, battle damage assessment, logistics, resupply, rearm, all of this stuff. And then
communication.
Yeah. And then when you talk about the lack of leadership at that level that can adapt to conditions on the battlefield, I don't know how the Russians, and again, this isn't, you and I aren't, guys in Washington, D.C. trying to figure this out, but I don't know what's going to be different from this Russian offensive to the east, other than more sheer numbers that they will outnumber the Ukrainians. But I think you can't improve your lack of leadership. You can't improve your lack of performance by shuffling troops from one side of the country to the other. And you're certainly, as you described, aren't going to take the hope away from the Ukrainian people that victory is going to be theirs.
No. And the morale breakdown of the Russian army is already, it's already in full force, because troops are, Russian soldiers are starting to ask those dangerous questions. And that is, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And what's the end result? And Russia is doing what they do best. Dead Russian soldiers is not that is equated into their war, I guess, doctrine. It goes all the way back to World War II. We'll just keep throwing numbers at you and throwing numbers at you until we can, overwhelm you. The problem is with the sophistication of weapons today, that's not a good strategy. And so right now, so in like Mariupol, they outnumber Ukrainian forces 10-1, but Ukrainian forces are still standing their ground because they're failing. One side has hope and has confidence, and the other side is starting to ask those serious questions of what are we doing? What's the end state? What I have family in Ukraine. Why? What is this about now? And you're seeing it all over the place. Russia's been very good at censoring a lot of that for the world to see. They've been able to censor it, but no, those questions are being asked. The Ukrainian troops that I've talked to, they talk about the Russian prisoners that they take, and they say, yeah, they surrendered because they don't understand what they're doing. And it's like, it's contagious.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we're getting down toward the end of the show, for those people that might have just joined us, we want to replay the video again that we put together. We want to show you some of the things that Ryan is doing over there and some of his interactions. So Vic, if we can we play the video again, please?
All right, guys, it's 100 bags of food loaded up going to Chernihiv region. It's a lot of hope right there for people that need it. Even after everything people have been through, I'm so thankful. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it looks like Russians marked, I mean, I guess areas, maybe areas they cleared, or I have no idea, but the Z is definitely Russian. So yeah, this is one of the main streets here. But yeah, people boarding up. It's just devastation. And these two ladies are showing us around because they want everyone to know what's been happening here to civilians. Yeah, the road is just littered with ordnance everywhere. We're being told we can go about this far because they're doing a demining operation up here, which is good, trying to clear the area for people to, well, I'm not really sure what to come back to. All right, guys, this is what 40 bags of food looks like. It's going out to help some people. So we'll deliver them today, and yeah, this is all your donations. So keep sending them because it goes fast, but it helps out a lot of people. So.
Awesome stuff, brother. Awesome stuff. I could watch that, all day long, man. So Ryan, we're getting down to the end of the show here. So what do you want the audience to know and the people of the world to know about what you're doing, but more importantly, what the Ukrainian people are going through right now? And then how do you think best for those that want to help, can they help?
So as far as what I'm doing, I'm just a tiny piece of this major puzzle. So I'm not, I'm here, got it. But no, what we're doing as an organization and as a group, and these humanitarian workers that are coming in here to help, whether I've met firefighters that are coming in here to help with, getting people out of the rubble and to, I've multiple people that have volunteered to come out here for the UXO problem. The UXO problem is horrible. There's farmers hitting mines in their farm fields daily because of the Russian, we call them leave behinds, little nasty surprises. But I'm a little piece of something that's very great, but it's only great because of the resolve of the Ukrainian people. It's great because of the spirit and the will of the Ukrainian people, and they won't be a victim. They refuse to be a victim. They will take charge, and if no one will help them, then they will do it themselves. They're not a victimized country, and they don't want anyone to see them as victims. But as far as people's, the best way that people can help is, that's prayer. Like what dig in deep and think about what it is between you, your conscience, and what you think the best way to help is. And then if it is through donations, then do your research. Be very careful because there's snakes out there, and there's people that are trying to capitalize on this tragedy. That tragedy is a light word for what's going on here. I just don't know, maybe catastrophe. I don't know. Yeah. But do your research. If you want to donate, make sure you know who you're donating to, what your donations are going towards. Do your research. Do not blindly donate, because every conflict has people that will try and take advantage of the heart and the generosity of those that want to help. So do your research, make sure you know who you're donating to, what your donations are going to, but overall, I mean, do not let the world forget what's going on here. You got one actor slapping the shit out of another actor, and now all of a sudden the world forgets about COVID and Ukraine and everything else. Don't forget, there are real people suffering here, and the suffering it's on a level that I've never seen before. I have a little bit of experience, but it's on a level that I've never seen before. So do not forget what's going on here. Do not let people forget what's going on here. The world needs to continue to inform everybody on the situation that's going on in Ukraine right now, because it's Ukraine today, but it very easily can be a bordering country, and it spreads. Hate spreads quickly. Do not let people forget what's going on here, because we are a very shiny object society, and it's forgotten about quickly. And so I would say, if you want to donate, do your research. But the best thing you can do is spread the word. Make sure people don't forget what's going on here.
Awesome, brother. and I think that's a mic drop right there, man. Ryan, thank you so much, brother, for taking the time out of your humanitarian mission to be a guest here today. And thanks for being my co-host. I'm hoping we get to link up in Scotland and do a little hike with a bunch of wounded warriors. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I know my wife's looking forward to it. So yeah, it'll be awesome.
The good thing about hiking in Scotland is that every checkpoint they have Scottish whiskey, that you can take a shot that'll get you to the next checkpoint. So we'll have to figure that out when we get together, brother. But hey, right. Ryan, thanks so much for being here, brother. Keep up the great work there. Everyone is just so proud of what you're doing, and we're so proud of the Ukrainian people. I want to thank the Ukrainian SEAC, Alexander Kozinski, for taking time out of his fighting position. You saw he had his headlamp on, and coming on the show. And thank you all to our audience and our supporters for tuning into the eTool Nation podcast, powered by Veterans Lending Group. We'll see you all next month with our next episode right here on the Veterans Lending Group Facebook page. Have a great month, everybody. God bless you all. Boom.